Hong Kong protesters out in force right now. Our Brian Sullivan is there live on the ground. Brian, good evening to you.
Hey, Scott, good evening. Thank you very much. They are out in force. I don't know how many there are. Probably a couple 10,000 is my best estimate. If you see those trees in the background where those red stoplights are, the park is behind that. I guess it would be like the Bryant Park of Manhattan, surrounded by bank skyscrapers here. The park is full. This is the overflow crowd. You can see there's a lot of people here. There's a couple different people talking. The main stage is inside that park. We were in there earlier, but literally there's so many people you just sort of can't move. It's been very peaceful so far. A lot of speeches given so far. Nothing yet has happened. It's still early, though. By the way, if you're wondering about all these laser pointers that you see, the police issued a ruling that laser pointers are considered a weapon because they can burn at close range. So people are pointing these pointers to kind of rouse the police, if you will, to say, hey, we've got our pointers out, kind of, you know what I mean, kind of giving it to them a little bit. Now, despite the protests here, which have been very peaceful and calm, there's been obviously a lot of unrest, guys. And so the story that we've got on CNBC is how much does this impact the financial markets? If you're a CEO of a company here, if you're thinking about going public here, maybe like Alibaba and their secondary offering, does this dissuade you from listing your stock or moving people here? We spoke with an investment banker earlier today who said, yeah, there is unrest and there has been in the past, but what Hong Kong has going forward and always has is that it's a relatively stable financial market.
The one thing that Hong Kong's going for it is that it's had very few failures of major listed Chinese companies here, which means the due diligence that's done in Hong Kong is done with understanding of how China operates. Whereas UK, the US in particular, Singapore, and even Frankfurt is littered with failed Chinese IPOs.
Now, I know the Chinese stock bears, Scott and Carl, I mean, they'll tell you maybe because accounting rules are different for Chinese companies in the United States versus here. Either way, listen, the Hong Kong markets are hoping that what Jeff Hill said is what happens, that this does not stop companies from being here, from coming here, and remaining, arguably, the financial center of Asia and the keyhole between the Eastern and Western financial markets.
Brian, a lot of conjecture yesterday about whether or not the protesters could arrange a so-called run on the banks. Have we seen any evidence of that today?
No, that's been going around for a while, Carl. I can tell you this much. Personally, I took out some coin today because a lot of people want to be paid in cash for various services around here. So far, the banks do have money. But what you're referring to is some of the protesters have sort of put out on these message boards, hey, go out and take out all the money. Let's kind of drain the ATMs, if you will. So far, that has not happened. If my ATM card doesn't work, it may be a separate issue, but I will stay on the story.